reaches levels not seen in 4 decades.
Well, those are the headlines we're tracking for you this evening. Online professional network LinkedIn has released its 2022 LinkedIn Top Startups list for India, revealing the top 25 startups that have shown resilience in an uncertain market environment and are continuing to innovate. Joining us now are 3 startups that have made to the list: Kaivalya Vora, co-founder and CTO of Zepto; Swami Sitaraman, head of technology at Cred; and Puneet Goyal, who's the co-founder of BluSmart. Congratulations, gentlemen, and many thanks for joining us on Startup Street. Also joining me will be my colleague Arun. Kaivalya, let me start with you, and first let me also congratulate you as you're now the youngest entry in the IIFL Hurun India Rich List 2022. Many congratulations for that as well. And you know, LinkedIn has measured startups based on 4 pillars, which is employment growth, engagement, job interest, and traction of top talent. Now, Zepto is ranked number 4 on the list. If you could take me through your organizational culture, what policies have helped you retain talent and kept the workforce happy?
Sure thing. Firstly, thanks a lot for having me here. It's a pleasure. And yeah, I'll quickly chat through both of those things on the culture part and the policies. So on culture, right, I think a couple of things are fundamental, right? One is, having a super high ownership culture, right? Everything is everyone's problem, right? And at the same time, giving people very difficult problems to solve, right? And say, hey, look, and in general, the business that we're building comes with a lot of very interesting challenges every day. And that's, I think, one thing that keeps a lot of folks engaged. At the same time, given the growth that we're having, a lot of people, that high growth also comes with high learning. And so, at the same time, a lot of people, a lot of the folks on the team have gone through that over the last year since we launched. And so I think in general, a mix of all of those things, high ownership of, solving difficult problems, as well as, high growth for the business, also translating into high learning and high growth opportunities for people is sort of, what I'd say on the culture part, right? Some of the policies that sort of go hand in hand as well, the second part on the policies. So, one of them is sort of a vacation reimbursement policy, something that we sort of started some time back, where we sort of reimburse folks for vacations that they take within the country and outside the country. This sort of allows folks to encourage them to take time off, once in a while, spend time with loved ones, family, friends, etc.
Absolutely.
That's one of them. Second one, sort of being period leave, right? And not just for women, folks for all genders, right?
Yes,
which will be the same. For equal support at home for spouses, mothers, siblings, etc. And third one being parental cover and childcare. Right, it's no doubt that this is sort of a pretty critical milestone in everyone's life.
Okay, all right. Kaivalya, we'll delve deeper into some of the policies that you just mentioned, but let me quickly get in Swami here. Swami, Cred is number 1 on the list, valued at $6.4 billion. Cred has maintained its podium position on the LinkedIn Top Startups list. It's moved from number 3 in 2021 to number 1 in 2022. What has changed in the past 1 year? What policies at Cred do you think has made it a favorite with job seekers and employees?
Yeah, I think if I sort of rewind in the last 3.5 years, it's been a sort of a growth, and it's a scale growth. And during this time, there are a few tenets that helped us to continue to stay on the podium, right? One is actually starting with trust. I think trust is very fundamental to how we operate at Cred. And the way we define trust is always given first. For example, we pay salary in the beginning of the month, not the end of the month. It's just a small gesture saying that, hey, we trust you, right? We have flexi hours and flexi days. Like people can choose if they want to take a break. They just say, I need to take a break, and they manage how they want to manage. For example, after we roll out an offer, we give a laptop immediately saying that, hey, we trust you, right? So everything is built on trust. I think one more point I want to touch is we also encourage people to follow their passion. We have a lot of musicians, poets, storytellers, authors, and so many stand-up comedians. We have a lot of artists, and we ensure that they can follow the passion, irrespective of what they do. So at the core of it, it's about people. And Kunal keeps talking about, hey, how do we make this the best gig for people? How do we ensure that this experience helps them to become a better version of themselves? and how do we have long-term relationship with them? Like, I just want to sum it up by saying that even when people decide to leave, we enable them to take the laptop with them. They've spent a lot of time on that. It's a relationship that we want to carry, and we want people to be successful. So anything we do, we are keeping people at center of it. And the reason, I think, in my opinion, if I had to just pick one reason, is the people on the ground who were able to internalize, the values, able to appreciate the mission, what we're trying to do, and with very high agency, they're able to operate and win it for Cred. So kudos to the team Cred.
Absolutely. So people at the core are at the core of it, and it's all built on trust. Hi, Puneet, Arundhati here. On similar lines, I want to know what employee-friendly policies have you made at BluSmart?
Hi, Arundhati. So I think we were in the list last year. Our ranking was 16th, and this year is 10th. Hopefully, we stay put next year also. We are a company which believes in perseverance and resilience, and we only get in people which are purpose-driven. BluSmart has seen 3 rounds of COVID, and we run India's largest fully electric ride-hailing service. We had a team strength of about 30-35 people back in 2019 and 2020 when COVID struck. Today, we employ more than 200 people. And in terms of drivers, today we have created job opportunities for more than 3,400 people in India who drive BluSmart cars. So we believe in people who are purpose-driven, who believe that they are doing something great for the environment and are really contributing towards building a better tomorrow. So that purpose-driven approach is very, very important. People who can go through good times and bad times, who have the resilience in them, and only when you have a purpose can you be resilient. And that is something that we see in our team members, because we believe them. Because we believe that they will play a very, very important part in our growth story, and every team member should probably have resilience in them, or should probably have the conviction and should be purpose driven. That's what we see with our team.
Right, so a very purpose driven culture there. But Kaivalya, let me get you back into the conversation now. It's actually something you mentioned a little bit earlier. You said you offer period leave, and it's not just for women employees. Anyone can take these period leaves. So can you elaborate a little bit on that and what you meant by that?
Yeah, sure. So, as an inclusive organization, right, the idea is to not just have period leave limited to just women, right? The idea is that, a lot of folks within the team have people in their family, whether it's their spouses, siblings, or, mothers, etc., right? And the idea is that we sort of want to give people the flexibility to also offer equal support at home, right? And so that's sort of where that came from.
All right. In fact, Zepto's childcare support that you also mentioned earlier goes beyond the creche facility to include daycare and at-home nanny support. What is the kind of impact you've seen on employees?
Yeah, no, I think on the whole, that's been a pretty major one, right? I think, it's like I said, it's a big critical milestone in everyone's lives. We've got a team that skews to be a little bit young, right? So a lot of folks that, are having that, that happy moment in their lives. And so, one thing that we sort of are pretty committed to is to ensuring that they're able to maintain a very strong balance between their personal and professional lives. And so the idea with these parental benefits is to give people that comfort, right? And like I said, it's a pretty in India, stay-at-home nannies are some at times more trusted, etc. than creches. And so the idea was to be as sort of open and flexible as possible with this policy.
All right. Puneet, let's talk about ESOPs then. What kind of impact does it have on employee retention and loyalty? At BluSmart, what has been your winning formula?
ESOPs are always very welcome, and people love ESOPs, but they also need to contribute towards the growth of the company to get ESOPs. And when the company is at growth stage like BluSmart is, or like others on this call, you need to be very mindful of whom you want to give ESOPs to. But once you award ESOPs, we also believe that the employee or the team member should be there for long term. So we have been very choosy there, but now we are giving ESOPs to a lot of employees who have been with us, or team members rather, that's the right word, who have been with us for the last three years. They have been with us through thick and thin, and we are awarding generous ESOPs to them. And we believe that they can be change makers, is a change maker that we really believe should be awarded the ESOPs.
Okay. Coming to you now, Swami, quickly, and if you could quickly answer that as well. Every team member at Cred is a shareholder. What is your current ESOP outlay, and how do you make it rewarding?
Yeah, our ESOP pool size is $700 million, and that's for people, right? And we look at every team member as a shareholder of Cred, so everybody gets ESOPs. And the reason is we have very, very tight hiring process in terms of who we want to get. But once they come in, skin in the game being a value for Cred, very core for us. So it's important that people feel like it's their own company and they're owners of company and not employees of company. So that's the reason we ensured that everyone, every function, any level, doesn't matter, they get ESOPs. Another interesting aspect is after individual completes 1 year, they can take 50% of the salary as ESOPs, right? This is another, it's very unique to Cred, and it's called Annual Wealth Program. A lot of people, I mean, we're very impressed with in terms of participation and people wanting to, put their money and make their company successful, right? So it's very core to us in terms of ESOPs and very core to value of skin in the game.
All right, on that note, we'll have to wrap up this conversation. We've completely run out of time, but many thanks, Kaivalya, Swami and Puneet for joining us on Startup Street today, and congratulations once again.
All right, on that note, global retail giant Walmart's technology arm, Walmart